I've been doing calisthenics now for 8 years. And funny enough, everything is documented on this YouTube channel. But to save you time from watching 500 videos, in this video, I'm gonna explain to you what I've learned over the course of these 8 years and how that can actually benefit you, starting with year 1. Now, year 1 was my most exciting phase of my journey, and that's because simply how fresh it was. I was a new cadet in ROTC, Air Force ROTC, and I was a freshman in college, 18 years old. Now, within year 1, my main goal wasn't to learn advanced skill moves. It wasn't to do anything crazy. It was to simply build my foundational strength so that I could excel in the ROTC program. I wanted to increase 2 main things, my push-up reps and my pull-up reps. I went from being able to do about 30 push-ups in a row to being able to do 50 plus push-ups in a row within this first year, and being able to do about 6 or 7 pull-ups in a row to being able to do 15 to 20 pull-ups in a row, all within the first year. I wasn't even learning any skill moves or static moves at the time, not even the handstand, guys. I only did foundational rep work. This year was all about building upon my foundation and educating myself on how calisthenics actually work, because before this time period, I've never heard of this training style. I only thought that you should do weightlifting. So because of that, I never thought about progressions or how you can actually progress and see progress not only in strength, but also in your physique and muscle too. Now, speaking about physique, this is where I saw little changes, very slight changes. I started off more skinny, so I didn't see any huge changes in my physique within the first year. If anything, I saw more of like an outline of like a 6-pack coming in. I probably gained about 5 or so pounds, but nothing really significant came from a physique standpoint within this first year. Moving on to year 2, this is where my strength has progressed the most in regards to how fast I was progressing each month. In regards to static skills, I started focusing heavily on the L-sit and the handstand. I felt like learning these 2 skills would actually bring me most benefit and success into learning the other skills, in which in hindsight, it actually did. And that's also why I recommend, if you're a beginner too, focus on learning the L-sit and the handstand first in regards to your straight arm skills. At this time also is where I learned how to do the muscle up. The muscle up is one of those things that we all see and we're all impressed by, but it actually took me a year plus to actually achieve it. And that is because, once again, the first year I didn't even try to attempt the muscle up. I focused on getting my pull-ups to 15 to 20, and then in year 2, I focused on making that pull-up more explosive so that I can then learn the muscle up. In regards to my strength and exercise selection, this is also where I started focusing heavily on learning and doing unilateral movement. So the one-arm push-up, one-arm chin-up progressions to build my way up to the future one-arm pull-up for reps. In regards to my physique in year 2, still a lot didn't change a whole lot. I started to gain a little bit more muscle through my progressions and stuff like that, but it wasn't anything super significant in regards to my physique changes. I think at this point in time, I started to actually develop more of a leaner midsection, but in regards to actually building muscle and getting bigger, it still wasn't at the point in which I would like, but that was okay because I only was focusing on getting stronger, and this is where, once again, I saw most of my strength progress in regards to how fast it was. Moving on to year 3, this is where I started heavily focusing on skill training. This is where I wanted to learn planche, front lever, back lever, you name it. I started focusing heavily on learning all those skills and actually training it multiple times a week. The pseudo planche push-up and the one-arm chin-up progression was some of my favorite exercise selections to do at this point in time, and it really set the tone and the strength standard for myself by picking those 2 exercises. Even till this day in year 8 plus, I still oftentimes do those exercises, especially the pseudo planche push-up. You guys know how much I love that one. Also, at this point in time, I started slowly incorporating more weighted calisthenics and started getting pretty good at the weighted pull-up. And I think it was because I saw really good progress within my one-arm chin-up training. So that's when I discovered, okay, let me try and add weight to just my standard pull-up. And I saw even better progress month after month in that. And that's when I actually fell in love with the weighted pull-up, because my progress was so good into it. I wasn't as strong as I am now in it, but it was the building blocks at that point in time. And then overall, not just with the weighted pull-up, I started incorporating quite a bit more weighted calisthenics in my routine here and there, but not super consistently. This was also at the time where I released my Bodyweight Bodybuilder 2.0 program, which is my most popular program till this day, and that a lot of people have saw the transformations and results from. Year 4 is where I reached an advanced level of calisthenic strength. I'm able to comfortably do planche, handstand, front lever, back lever, all the static skills that I really focused heavily on year 2 and year 3. I was pretty comfortable with them. At this point in time, it's just making those advanced skills even more advanced and working my way towards that and doing better hold times, better form. Also at this point in time, I really started to focus on my body, building more muscle, and I call this time period the age of aesthetics. So from that, not only did I started working on longer hold times for my static skills, but I started doing even more weighted calisthenics so that I can build even more muscle and get a better and better physique, because I had the strength output and that I was comfortable with. However, at this point in time, I just want to look better, right? I wanted my strength to match my physique fully. So that's when I went heavy on the weighted calisthenics, which absolutely changed the game for me. And then also at this point in time, I did start incorporating a little bit of weightlifting compounds and mostly isolation exercises, primarily for my medial delts, my calves, biceps, and stuff like that, so that I can really take my physique to the next level. In regards to my calisthenics, I was at a point where I was still progressing, but it was more having fun with it, right? I was able to do like weighted muscle ups. I was able to do one-arm pull-ups at this point in time. It was more about, okay, I reached this level of strength, let me just have fun with it for a year or so and see what I can really do with it. Now, at this point in time, we're at years 5 and 6. The reason why I'm pairing it together is because not a whole lot changed between the years at this point in time. And this is something I realized too, is that I saw most of my progress and most of my results and gathered most of my information between years 1 and year 3. After year 3, this is where physical progress started to slow down a lot and strength progress started to slow down a lot. With all things, there will always come time where there's a ceiling. So you're not seeing as fast progress as what you used to see in regards to your strength and your physique. So with that being said, this is where I came with the concept of let me go on a bulk cycle a few times actually. And so I went on the bulk cycle, started eating more calories, trying to get bigger, trying to build more muscle. And I've experienced a few things with this that actually wasn't worth it in the long run. For one, my relative strength went down, my calisthenics got worse, and I didn't like that. For two, whenever I would actually go back on a cut cycle, I realized looking at my physique, the bulk cycle really wasn't worth it a whole lot unless I went with the bulk for like a long time. I'm talking like 2-3 years minimum and then potentially cut down. So all in all, I realized for myself and my goals at least, especially being a content creator, is that the bulk cycles really aren't worth it for me. And I made a whole video describing why I will actually never bulk again. Also within year 5 and 6, I was really moving towards a more hybrid calisthenics approach, meaning I still do my calisthenics stuff and I focus on that. However, I started mixing a lot more weightlifting, a lot more weighted calis into the mix, into a full hybrid sort of approach. But then within years 5 and year 6, this one thing stopped all that from happening. It was the pandemic of 2020, the COVID. That's when all the gyms shut down, everything was done in regards to going to the gym. So I'm actually thankful for the pandemic happening, because that's when it brought me back closer to my roots, closer to what I was doing in year 1 and year 2, and I was solely focusing on just bodyweight progressions and calisthenics. I would take this time, which was like 6 months or so, to just simply work out at home, go to the park every now and then, and just train more with my body weight. I actually lost the weight I was doing in the bulk cycle. I got more leaner, I got more ripped, and I found a lot more enjoyment from actually going back to my roots. And once again, I actually documented this on my YouTube channel too. So that lasted for quite a bit before the gym started opening back up again. And that leads us into year 7 and year 8. Year 7 and year 8, I'm training more at commercial gyms and less at the gyms where I was doing a lot of my bodyweight training and training outside. And because of that, once again, I started doing a lot more weightlifting, more than usual. And then also at this point, when it came to my body, I came more at a physical acceptance, meaning I understood that I'm probably not going to get that much bigger unless I was to once again go through a permanent bulk cycle for like a long time, or even hop on some roids or some TRT or some enhancement, which I'm not doing. I've always been natural. So I came more to acceptance for my physique, and I actually started enjoying more of the journey and the process of just training and not always viewing it from month to month, week to week. What am I doing now versus this? And I just started having more fun with my approach. And my approach nowadays in year 7, year 8 plus is once again the hybrid calisthenics approach, meaning that I still do my calisthenics, but I miss weightlifting while also mixing weighted calisthenics into the whole mix. It's like a trifecta sort of approach. So I wouldn't necessarily consider myself an individual in each sphere. I do hybrid, I do absolutely everything. And here on out, you're gonna start seeing a lot more of me talking about this hybrid calisthenics approach and how you can also implement it to your own routines and how I personally do it too. Nowadays, I simply just like to do everything because you'll realize once you get good at something, get more advanced at it, there has to be some sort of novelty within your routine. It has to be some sort of switching up. Otherwise, you're gonna lose motivation and get bored. And so I don't want that happening to me. That's why I decided to mix all these training styles all together. And now I'm at a point to where I still physically look good. I'm still capable of planches, to strength booms, one-arm pull-ups. I can still do all this stuff, weighted pull-ups, heavy, and I'm just having fun with my training and enjoying where I'm at in this year 8+ journey. So if you've been with me throughout this whole journey, years 1 all the way up until year 8, I highly appreciate you. And if you want to learn more about my progress and my journey, take a look back at some of my old videos to where you can actually see my progression that I've talked about within this video. All right, subscribe, like, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.